Welcome, everybody, to the SHU Baseball Weekly Head Coaches Show with the head coach, of course, of Sacred Heart, Nick Giaquinto. I'm Randy Brochu, glad to be with you for another year. And a year that started off, I think, pretty positive, Coach. A 3-4 trip, but a really good 3-4 against some tough teams down in Louisiana, and a couple of extra innings losses that could have gone the other way. I think, though, something to build on. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. We pitched well. We played pretty solid defense throughout the week. And if we could do that all year, we're going to be in every ball game. So that's kind of the formula. Bat's got to come alive a little bit. I think we struck out a little bit too much, and we need to execute a little bit better with runners on third base, less than 2 outs. Situational
hitting, which hopefully comes along as we move along. But the pitching is there. And I want to talk particularly about Cody Kursky. 2-0, dominant, 11 1/3 innings, just 1 earned run, 2-0 against 2 tough teams. We've seen him come up big in his underclassmen years in big postseason moments in the NEC tournament. This year he's the senior, he's your Friday night starter, and he sure pitched like it down in Louisiana.
Oh, he sure did. Cody's our guy, you know. He starts off the weekend on Fridays, and he's been working very hard for 4 years, and every year he gets better and better. Last year he had a nice summer at the Cape, and he's just continuing to grow, continuing to develop. He's going to have a lot of success this year and in the future.
I want to talk about the rest of the rotation and the bullpen. I mean, you've really stocked up on arms this year. Jeff Stoddard had such a great year last year. Nick Giaquinto has been tough through his 3 years. Dan Wertz coming out of the bullpen. Foley, the young freshman who was lighting up the radar gun and mowing guys down. I mean, you've got to be excited to have the depth of pitching, I would imagine. Pretty excited to have that kind of depth in your rotation and your bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely. The staff was excellent down south, and hopefully we can continue that run up here. And not to mention Robbie McGuire, who will be back from a year off, and he's getting back in shape, and he's going to be a big contributor. But yeah, Lanigan, we're expecting a lot out of Lanigan. Stoddard had a great year last year and has started just, he's improved since last year. Coming off a good year, he's worked his butt off, and he's even had a better start. So, and then of course Foley, he was the unknown before the season started, and Jason's had 4 good appearances, 4 very good appearances. So we could see him in the conference, probably on the conference weekends.
So you have some veteran pitching with some young, exciting arms,
yep,
and really a young overall team. Some guys that have come along. Zach Short jumps to mind, 12 for 27 on the trip down to Louisiana for a .444 batting average, an athletic middle infielder. Sean Short up the middle. It's going to be fun on the radio all season.
Yep.
But and Jason Sullivan, also a sophomore outfielder who earned some NEC accolades with his 2 home runs, 7 runs, and 6 runs batted in, 10 hits down in Louisiana. So some young, exciting players in the lineup to mix with that veteran pitching. I would imagine that's pretty good recipe for success.
Oh, it is, absolutely. Zach did a tremendous job down south, and Sully. Those 2 guys kind of led the charge offensively, and had great weeks. They had great weeks, and both of those guys are kind of mature beyond their years. Particularly Zach is a freshman. He's coming in, and it's like he's been there forever. He's doing a great job defensively. He's doing a great job at the plate. We're asking a lot of him, and he's come up aces so far. You know, he's doing a great job. Sully, he's another guy. He was a walk-on, recruited walk-on last year, and he ended up earning a starting spot. He was just so consistent defensively, and he could do a few things offensively. He could bunt for a hit. He could hit and run. He's the guy that can do it all, and he showed a little power down south. He came back with our own 2 home runs. So those 2 guys have been leading the charge, but of course we have Perez in the lineup, and Dan has a track record of being a successful hitter here. Derek Horn has been swinging the bat better than he has. He just continues to work hard and get better. So we have a bunch of guys. Ted Shaw, another freshman, has been our leadoff guy. His last two games, he's taken a step and really trying to embrace that role and doing a lot better job. So, and then down the end, we got a bunch of guys that are going to be battling for those innings.
Moving forward to this weekend, you obviously this time of year is tricky as a baseball program in the Northeast because the schedule changes a couple times a day, it seems. But
Yeah.
we have Hartford on Friday,
Yes.
down at Baseball Heaven in Long Island, and then going to Fordham for 3 games this weekend in the Bronx.
Yes. And we have Kurski's opening up Friday, and then on Saturday, doubleheader with Fordham. We got Stoddard and Lanigan. And then on Sunday, Foley. Bring Foley back out.
So an opportunity to kind of play like you will in conference. So you're looking at this as kind of a 4-game series?
4-game series. Rotation might not be exactly the same, but that's kind of what we're looking at.
And an opportunity to play teams kind of that are your contemporaries after playing, down in Louisiana against some really big programs, LSU, UConn the other day, up here in the Northeast. But what are you looking forward to? We'll finish with this. And the guys, with this opportunity this weekend, 4 games against teams that you really kind of on paper match up with, like you might against other conference opponents.
Yeah, we're pretty even. It really doesn't get much easier. Hartford has a tremendous pitching staff. So we're going to be, and we've been struggling a little bit at the plate, so we're going to be scraping for runs, as they are facing Kursky. So we're expecting, we play our solid defense, we're in the ball game. Then over the weekend, Fordham has struggled a little bit, but, they're trying to get it together, and who knows? It all depends on who they got on the mound, and they're going to have their top guys on the mound too. So we have to stay focused, stay locked in, expecting a dogfight, each game. That's how we have to go into it, and it really should be, So, another guy is Morrissey pitched tremendously. I forgot to mention Nick. He pitched great down south, and he really stepped up his game from last year with a lot of work and just a huge commitment that he made. He was very valuable. And he's going to be a big part of our staff.
Very good. Depth is a beautiful thing.
It is.
We're looking forward to seeing it on display this weekend. Good luck this weekend, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Nick Giaquinto with us, and again, the games this weekend, Friday at Baseball Heaven on Long Island, they take on the Hartford Hawks. Then Saturday this weekend in the Bronx against Fordham, double dip Saturday, and a finale of the weekend. Sunday, we have coverage for you on the air on the Pioneer Sports Network with Sacred Heart SID Jim Sheehan and myself on the call beginning Saturday against Fordham.